we've been reflecting in the bulletin, it's been a very, very wet July, and August doesn't look much better.
Quite a difference from June, of course, which was flaming. Yes, since then the weather has changed completely, and this is not the sort of weather we'd expect to find across the UK at this time of the year, certainly. There's been a few hardy souls braving the wet and windy conditions. It's not particularly advisable, though, along the south coast of England. And all the wet and windy conditions are due to another area of low pressure. And this one has been named Storm Patricia by the French Weather Service because the biggest impacts will be along the north coast of France. And that's where, with the combination of the supermoon and the strength of the winds, we've got some very rough seas and some very big waves as well. We've still got strong to gale force winds blowing through the English Channel along the south coast. They will tend to ease later in the afternoon, mind you. So really, over the next few days, this is the jet stream, the upper level winds, and it's because the jet is to the south of the UK that we're in cooler air. And it's quite a strong jet stream as well. That'll change direction perhaps as we head into Saturday. Cutting across the UK, it could pick up another area of low pressure, bringing wet and windy conditions across the UK, particularly England and Wales, pretty much like what we're seeing today.
Hello there, good afternoon to you. We'll stay rather unsettled through the rest of today. There'll be some heavy showers around, and watch out for those thunderstorms. There is a weather warning in force for those, valid until 8 o'clock tonight.
Hello there. Well, safe to say it has been very unsettled across southern parts of the UK today. Some very wet and windy weather around, and it stays pretty changeable as we head through the next few days. Further rain or showers to come our way, and it will still be quite breezy at times as well.
Less sensational, I think we can agree. Rita, good evening to you. We spoke earlier on about the wet, cool July. Well, that theme has gone on into the start of August. In fact, not only wet and cool, but windy today. And then let me show you what happens as we head into the start of the weekend. For the fourth weekend in a row, low pressure in charge of our weather. And this one for Saturday is set to bring some very heavy rain, but it may also bring some gales around some Irish Sea coasts. Sunday, well, it looks a little bit drier, a little bit brighter, and a little bit warmer, but that's not saying much. Rita.
It's not really busking weather, is it?
No, or outdoor congering weather either, Alice. It's not particularly summery out there again. It's been another cloudy and wet day, and quite a blustery one in places as well. That was the scene earlier at King's Cross, and some big puddles out there on the roads as well. And now, let me show you Saturday. This does not look particularly pleasant. Some very heavy rain. We've got another area of low pressure pushing through. Some really strong winds as well. Temperatures, well, look at these, 15, 16 degrees. Yes, it is still August. You may not believe it to look at that. Now, Sunday should be a little bit drier and brighter. Still one or two showers, a little bit warmer as well. And actually, there are signs that next week it turns a bit warmer and a bit drier. It's not a heat wave, but it shouldn't be quite as wet or as cool as it has been.
Hello there. This is not the sort of weather we'd get at this time of the year usually, and we have to wait until later next week for any significant improvements. Now, today, earlier on, we had gusts of 60 miles an hour on the Isle of Wight. The winds are not as strong now along the south coast of England. And there was some sunshine around as well here and there in between the downpours.
And for many of us, it's been a wet and windy day. It leaves the search for summer still very much ongoing. Well, Alex is in Bournemouth tonight, usually a British holiday hotspot, of course. And Alex, it actually looks like it's brightened up a bit there, hasn't it? A bit of sunshine I can see.
Honestly, Lucrezia, it feels like we've had 4 seasons in about 2 hours. Yeah, it was quite different a little while ago. Rain lashing down, winds whipping up, but you can see behind me the sun is shining, and out in the water are loads of surfers really making the most of this unsettled weather that we've been having throughout today. I think they were the only ones earlier today lapping up the waves, that low pressure helping to whip them up. And there certainly were quite a few on the beach as well, albeit not in swimwear, but wrapped up in waterproofs and dodging the showers. And there were quite a few of them as well. Also in Brighton, it was quite a miserable day there, I have to say. Again, rain lashing down, and along the south coast is where we had that wind warning very much in place. Similar in South Devon as well. And I can say that wind warning was definitely needed. Let's take a look at some of our top wind gusts that we had earlier today. And yes, our old friend the Needles took a top gust of 61 miles per hour, which for this time of year is pretty strong indeed. As we head through the next few days, we are expecting things to stay quite changeable, but there is some good news. As we head towards next week, there are signs that summer may make a little bit of a comeback. Not full-blown summer, but I think we'll see some sunny days, certainly some usable weather for most of us to look forward to. Right, let's take a look at the details then and see how it's all panning out as we get through the next couple of days.
Today we'll see warmer temperatures moving in from the east, especially around tea time. Heinz no added sugar beans sponsors ITV National Weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this week, Thursday and Friday, there's going to be fewer showers around, but still allow for a few here and there, certainly. But there'll also be some sunny spells. But as we push on to the weekend, I'm afraid Saturday is looking quite wet and windy. Really a repeat performance of what we had earlier today. Heads up. Ooh. Well, I'll leave you with this pretty fine evening on Bournemouth Beach. You can see people have come down to the beach and they're making the most of the sunshine, albeit quite late in the day. Back to you in the warmth of the studio.
All right, Alex, still keeping my brolly at the ready. Thank you.